News of the hour. Does Lord Harriman think that Orzammar can hold off the dwarves forever? The Assembly demands an answer.
Is it true there's civil war on the
Okay, we already
surface, too?
talked that one.
I suppose that building the city in the midst of a pool of molten rock saves invaders the trouble of burning it.
You could say that, I guess.
Oh, it must be so cold up on the surface. How do you stand it?
We are glad to have you here, Warden. The Prince values your support, Warden.
Greetings.
Alright. Chamber of the Assembly.
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartak Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Bhelen. What news do you bring?
This treaty obliges Orzammar to send troops to the surface.
Ah, ancient documents indeed. These were signed in the reign of Eithnar Bimo, Paragon and King. That was 16 generations ago. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now.
Can I talk to Bhelen?
You must understand, Harriman hides behind his good reputation while sending spies and assassins. Bhelen can't know who to trust. It's been like a knife in the heart for Bhelen to see so many of his father's men stand with the usurper.
Yeah, I'm sure. I thought King Andrin himself supported Harriman.
That hurts worst of all. That Harriman would take advantage of the dying king's delirium to plant such poisonous suspicions against his own son. After that, you understand why Bhelen cannot trust the word of a stranger, however reputable that stranger might be.
Okay, well, what must I do to prove my good intentions?
Harriman has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harriman's deception...
Irrefutable evidence? Which I suppose you have?
I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude.
What kind of evidence?
Harriman promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmi. Harriman can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harriman gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes.
Where'd you get the promissory notes?
That's not important. If they ask, say you found them while searching the Shaper's libraries for your treaty.
Isn't there someone you could report him to?
Normally, the Shapers would handle this sort of accusation. They are the scholars who manage our laws, histories, and genealogies. They are the final arbiters of all disputes in Orzammar. Unfortunately, the Shaper of Memories is the most important among them, and his grandfather was Lord Harriman's aunt's first cousin. Obviously, we cannot expect him to offer an unbiased opinion.
He'd hold a distant relative over his duty?
I guess I can't expect you surfacers to understand the importance of family in Orzammar.
Based on
the
what we
Shaper
know.
is biased, and if you want Prince Bhalen's help, you'll have to show where your loyalties lie. Will you do it?
I'll have to think about this.
Don't expect this offer to last. If my prince hears you swore allegiance to his enemy, he won't be so friendly next time.
Yeah.
I will be here if you change your mind.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Now's better than later.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ.
Half our houses would go broke without the surface trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Desher's lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Bhelen's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions.
Okay, everything's going well, obviously.
Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in.
I understand. No, I'm just observing. Pay me no mind.
Oh, Stone. You must be the Grey Warden. I completely forgot about the Gate Guard's message. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne.
Is there any way I can break this stalemate?
I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Bhelen or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. Dulin Ferender, Harrowmont's man, can be found at the Harrowmont estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Bhelen's second, is often here in the Assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you. Warden, I'm afraid the Assembly is still locked in debate. What can I do for you?
How is the election looking?
At this point, they're stone for stone. I wouldn't put any coin on the outcome. It's still up in the air, though. One big surprise, and it could go either way. Warden, I'm afraid the Assembly is still locked in debate.
Who's on the Assembly?
What can I do for you? Only members of the noblest houses are eligible. Those who claim a Desher, General, or Paragon among their ancestors. As steward, I am a non-voting member. I'm not permitted to voice opinions about the vote, although I am forming some about our members.
Alright, well, let me know when they stop bickering.
Not until something forces their hands, I'm afraid. Only Bhelen or Harrowmont can settle this.
As you said.
I'm sorry, an important debate is in progress. No one may enter.
Locked up now. I thought there was something right here. Maybe it's in the other building.
You're wise to support the rightful king.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories?
What's going on?
Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine! He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Thief in the House of Learning.
Disgusting. Someone stole from the Shaperate. The memories have never seen such a thing.
Okay.
I did.
We've already been through that. Cataloger.
Perhaps you should stand over there instead.
Okay. Jeez. Rude.
Are you with that warrior girl who's always here?
Warrior girl? Don't know who she'd be talking about.
Now's better than later.
The Legion of Steel. That'd be under book, though. Orda.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
Sounds important. Looking to hire help?
Not exactly, but... I'm looking for any birth records from the old Ortan Tig. It fell in the last blight, and my mother's family claims to be related. If I'm an Ortan, it means I'm noble. I'd have my own house, a seat in the assembly. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
I could look in return for some of that Ortan wealth.
You're from the surface. What do you know about fighting Darkspawn? There aren't even any expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly or some great lord.
Or be a Grey Warden?
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Bhelen and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
So I guess we have a deal. Shaperate
I
scribe.
hope you find what you're looking for.
Shaper.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
Shaper of Memories?
The Shaperate guards Orzammar's knowledge. We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of Dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost Tigs. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad.
Let's talk about Orzammar.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer.
How'd the caste system come to be?
According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloadlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Giachet, trained his sons to defend their king. They became the warrior caste. Shatyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons.
Okay, what about the casteless?
The casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim them. They should not have been born. Their parents defied their shame and brought cursed children into the world. It's better they die young.
It's easy for you to dismiss them.
Their births are not recorded in the memories. In Orzammar, they do not exist. Is there something more pleasant you wish to discuss?
Tell me some of Orzammar's history.
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
You guys lost golems. I gained one. How'd you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caridon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridon's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
What's a Taig?
They are to us what a colony is to surfacers.
Okay, simple enough. Where is Kal Shirak?
At the other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Shirak is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
Talk basic Orzammar again.
I will settle your mind if I can, Warden.
Back to the first questions.
Please, speak your mind.
I would like your permission to open a chantry here.
That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city.
Oh, it's not for me. Someone else is asking. Yeah, I think we'll go this way so he knows it's a dwarf. One of Orzammar's own has returned to spread the chant.
I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
Oh wow, several checks here. Chantry charities could greatly aid Orzammar. For cunning, persuasion, what harm would it do to let him preach? Or intimidate, would you rather wait for a human army to convert you? Cunning or persuasion? Do you want to make a statement or ask a question? I think we'll do the persuasion. What harm would it do?
He seems a charitable man, but that is a thin thread on which to tie Orzammar's traditions. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more?
I believe that is it.
I will record this conversation in the memories. I hope I do not come to regret it.
I'm sorry, you'll have to bother someone else with your questions.
Fine, jeez. Put up some of the deep roads. Politics. I think we've learned a little bit about that. Praise a humble nug.
Now's better than later.
Legion of the Dead. Get a nice little chunk of XP though. Dwarven Faith. Wall of Memories. Let's see if this one pops up under. Shaper's Life. I believe it's the second one. Orzammar is carved a legacy from the stone, but history is more than the comings and goings that fill the streets. These caverns are old cuts and well traveled. The true will of the stone is revealed from the halls of politics and commerce. The shaper must step away from familiar. Oh, I did read that one. My bad. So there's the first one. The blessing of the shaper is given only to those who walk with the stone. Actually, that's about the same. Protect to represent a new history to the memories. Only then will the blessing of the Shaperate be upon you. So it kind of says something similar, but it was definitely the first one was the new one. Folk songs. Can we open this?
Now's better than later.
Okay, Shaper's house. And I have that one down as well now. wanted to say we can look at this book over here. I guess not. There.
All right, all right.
Let's see, so we're gonna have to think about choosing a side. But we have a couple other things to do real quick first. Like, that book would be one.
Lord Bhelen's impending marriage to a passless...
The nugs.
Raise your voice in
Talk
support
to the
of
dude
Lord
that wants to
Harrowmont.
open up the chantry here. I think that's all the things. Alright, dude.
Go on, I'm out of the nug game. Got nothing to sell. Saraka, I'm back in the game, such as it is. I don't have much besides gratitude, but find a bunch more of these and I'll toss you whatever I found.
Okay.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. But there's more out there. You're the best wrangler. A trust Vala,
okay.
my nug wrangling friend.
Now, I believe, if I recall, there's actually supposed to be 10 of them or something altogether, but for some reason not all of them were put in the game. Only 5 of them,
Orzammar
I
welcomes
believe.
the Grey Wardens.
Yeah, let's talk to him now.
Andraste teaches that patience is the child of wisdom, but I'm eager to hear if you've seen the Shaper.
He agreed to let you hold your prayer meetings.
Oh, praise the Maker! You truly walk in the light, friend. I already found a convert among the merchants who offered his shop as a temporary chantry. It's just by the tapsters. Please, come to our first service.
So the building right here that we're standing at. Can't get in there just yet. Now let's see if we can get that book. If I can remember how to do this. Here we go. Shady dude. Of course.
What do you want, Warden? You're out of your element down here.
Oh, I'd say this is the guy. I'm looking for a thief who dared steal from the Shaperate.
Is that so? What makes you think anyone here would turn me, this person in? You've walked into a sodding fight, Warden, and I've already passed your stupid tome along. Too bad for you.
Yeah! That's right! Come on! Ah!
Proven receipt. Well, I guess we know where we're going. Alright. Is our team gonna talk again?
Do you think the tower is ever going to get back to what it was, Wynn?
I don't know. A great number of people died. It will be difficult to imagine rebuilding, with that cloud hanging over everything for many years to come.
Do you think you'll be there? To help rebuild, I mean, once this is all over with?
I cannot say. Even if I survive this blight, I am a very old woman, Alistair.
Why? Because of some grey hair? You are a formidable woman, Wynne. You could see that it happens.
I think you overestimate the number of years I have left. But perhaps you were right. Or perhaps the memories of what happened there will be too strong for me to face.
I have a hard time believing that.
Well, it's good to have someone that believes in me, so... Now, if I could only feel the same way myself, that would be something.
It's time for some actual real talk between them. Definitely have lots of running around. Now, I'm pretty sure he was over there, but I don't think we can get over there yet. Okay, I was right. We can't get to the part for the receipt yet. I believe it's on that side, but we got to continue with the story to get in there.
I'll get on it.
So we need to go back and choose one of them, and I think who I'm actually going to choose is Harrowmont. I don't know, for obvious reasons, I guess you could say I trust him more. Bhelen's just kind of power hungry.
Aren't you chilly, Sten?
Chilly? I don't know this word.
It's much warmer where you're from, isn't it? Don't you feel cold?
I suppose.
I don't imagine we can find a cloak in your size, can we?
What?
Nothing. Nothing. Don't mind me. Now, I wonder where I could get a skein of good wool.
She's gonna make one. But yeah, he's just way more trustworthy.
Could the end of Orzammar be nigh? Turn to Lord...
Alright. Let's tell him we'll do it. We'll
Do
enter
you
the
see
proving.
how things lie, Warden? Lord Harrowmont cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture.
Ah, yeah, let's bring this up. Vartag wants me to show people that Harrowmont is a cheat.
That you spoke to him even after our discussion is not reassuring. So have you decided to earn my lord's trust, or will you throw your lot in with the snakes?
I'll enter the proving and see why the others withdrew.
Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Beisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
You won't be watching? Okay. Actually, real quick, check the quest, make sure. Dagna, Find the Sun, Lord's Trust. Both the same ones. Look for the Thief and Orda. Okay, so we're fine.
It'll be 2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Bronca didn't go alone, Ogren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends. You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha! You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman.
What's going on here?
Can you believe it? Ogren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled.
Who are you?
I'm Loylanar Ivo, warrior, which is more than I can say for that useless sod.
Okay, well, who is he?
Ogren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Branka. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino.
What happened?
All Mino's son said was how unlikely it was that a bunch of Smiths would return safely from the deep roads. Which is true. Ancestors preserve us. That's what the warrior caste is for. But Ogren claimed it was an insult to a paragon. Next thing, they're in a duel to first blood to defend Branka's honor. Then Ogren starts screaming and runs him through.
Wasn't the duel to first blood?
It was a huge scandal. Ogren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the deep roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled.
Why does Ogren care so much about Branka?
She's still his wife, isn't she? Even if
Well,
she
you
took
didn't
their
mention that.
entire house into the deep roads and abandoned him.
Branka's married to that drunk.
Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith, and Ogren was one of the best warriors of his generation.
Why did she go into the deep roads?
Chasing some old treasure. She was quite secretive. Outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn. She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her.
What treasure, though? How'd she become a paragon?
She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly 1/3. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Branka, Ogren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name.
What were you and Ogren arguing about?
It's been 2 years since Branka left. No one has ever stayed in the deep roads that long and survived. The search teams who went out found nothing, but Ogren wants to keep risking lives searching.
I should leave before you start complaining about me, too.
If you see any guardsmen, tell them Ogren was at it again.
Well, let's continue on our way.